Hey everybody, we're going to be doing things a little bit different today in that I just sat down and pushed record. Usually I plan and I write out the energy and I think really hard about what I'm gonna say. And this time I was like, you know what? I'm not feeling that. So what that tells me is that the energy for this week is just do what you need to do in the moment. Don't think so much. Just don't flood yourself. Because I feel like as human beings, we are flooded all the time, right? It's time to do things with ease, okay? So this is what I'm gonna do. For 2018, I'm gonna pick one word. And my word, or I'm gonna ask you guys to pick one word for how you want next year to be. How do you want to, and I'm gonna correct what I said instead of how do you want next year to be, because next year is gonna be whatever it's gonna be. I'm not saying you have no control, but you have way less control than you're trying to have, right? So I think it's important when you pick this word it's about embodying the energy that word has in everything that you come up against in 2018. So if you're coming up against a big transition or like a new job or something's ending, a relationship is ending, or you're really feeling deeply emotional about something that's really like changed the course of your life, or something little, just the little things. Let's say like you have road rage, or there are just little things in your life that you're like, man, I wish I could change that, but every time I say I'm going to change that, I come at it with the same energy and I just get pissed and it just gets muddy and I give up. So instead of changing the way that we react and the things we need to say and the things that happen in our lives, because I think that's what happens, we think the day isn't going how I want it to go. This month isn't going how I want it to go. My life isn't going how I want it to go. And so either we play victim, or we say, or we just act like, I have no power, I have no control, which is another form of being a victim. But I think it's important that it's not about what we do. It's not about the things that happen to us. It's about who we be, right? It's about the energy that we bring to the situation, the energy, how we react. If we're reactionary or if we go, wait. And I think I talked about this last week about getting curious about things. Instead of judging them, get curious about them, right? So my word for 2018 is ease. Just feel that word for a second. That's what I want you to do when you're coming up with your word. Just feel it and feel, what do I really want to feel? How do I want to come up against everything that happens to me, everything that I happen to, all the situations in my life? What do I want to embody? And for me, I just want to embody ease. I want things to feel not easy, but I just want to feel in a state of ease. Because a lot of times I will come up against stuff and I will be very rigid and very this is the way it needs to be, or I have a great plan. And I get really excitable, which is great. But at the same time, if it doesn't go in that same direction that I want it to go or that I got excited about, it can maybe turn into, oh, I'm a failure because I had this plan and it didn't work out that way. So instead of setting yourself up for failure, set yourself up to win, okay? So pick one word, be it present, like I want to be present, or I want to be organized, or I want to be loving, or I want to be strong, or I want to be powerful, or I want to be confrontational. There are some of us that are quiet and we hang back and we don't speak our truth. So for those of us like that, maybe being controversial, or not even controversial with people causing debates, but controversial with speaking your truth. And if it affects somebody in a way that you're scared it'll affect them, who cares? People own their reactions. So however they react, yes, you may have triggered something that they've gone through before that makes them react in a certain way, but you don't own that pain. You don't own that reaction. You don't own that whatever has been sparked in them. You can only own your own pain, your own love, your own joy, your own emotional responses. So how you come into the new year is very important. So this energy reading today is for Monday, 11/27, so November 27th, to Sunday, December 3rd. So like I said, I didn't plan this at all. So if we're talking about the new year, because December just is starting, so it's really about thinking about renewal and what we want to bring into the new year. And for me, renewal is really important. It's kind of it makes me think of water. It makes me think of flooding like all the ideas and things that I think and that I should be and that I should be doing, that I maybe if I'm evaluating and I say, oh, this is something I said I was going to do, but I didn't. Instead of doing that, let's again just embody the energy of the word we picked into the new year. Okay, so that's one thing I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna pull a few cards. Usually I have them already picked and I've already thought about them. This time I have not. I'm just sitting at my table with all my cards everywhere. So I'm gonna pull from a deck I don't usually pull from, Divination of the Ancients. Don't usually pull from that, but I'm feeling a very ancient energy, which to me is our forefathers and mothers, our root, like what roots us into our experience that we're having right now. You know, like they say, we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spirit beings having a human experience. We were put on this earth to have a human experience. We chose to have a human experience. And so it's so different from this spiritual freeness that we get to choose to make it whatever we want it to be, as opposed to it controlling us, right? Just like you would flip the table on a human being having a spiritual experience to a spirit being having a human experience, could be the same thing for your life, or just the little things that you come up against as you go through life. So I'm going to pull one of these. I'm also feeling some healing. I'm feeling some healing. So I'm going to pull from my Angel Therapy deck. That's some healing energy. That's really about how to, I'm feeling really heavily this, not heavily, but I feel right now, as I'm just doing this reading, that there's a lot of reactionary behavior going on. So let's get into a space where we're not reacting and we're just getting curious. Again, I like saying that because it really taps into non-judgment and non-attachment to the way things look or need to look, quote unquote need to look. Okay, I'm going to pull one of these divination cards. Okay. And then I'm going to pull from Angel Therapy. I think 2 cards is enough, right? Okay, this one is speaking to me. Okay. Ooh, interesting. Okay. I'm going to hide that from you guys for a second while I pull from Angel Therapy. And that is really about connecting to... Ooh, I just got information. Like I just heard my spirit team talking about your primal wound. I know a lot of people don't want to talk about that and don't want to look at their primal wound. They want to look at what works instead of what doesn't, which is good. I always tell people, let's focus on what works, because a lot of people come to me that I do coaching with that want to talk the whole session about what doesn't work for them. I'm like, okay, we've talked about that. Now it's time to talk about what does work. But right now, I'm really feeling that there's this primal wound. I feel like it's more about the collective, and it's like the collective of all of us, the human experience is feeling this primal wound coming up, and that each one of us as separate beings are healing it in our own way. So that's what this card is going to speak to, is how do we as individuals heal this or come at this in a very, of course, that's what I got, in a very deliberate way. Okay, so the first card I got from the Divination of the Ancients is Phrenology. I don't know much about the art of phrenology, or I don't know if it's what it is, medical maybe? I don't know. I think it's about that as you can tell from the picture, is it scalp or brain? I'm not sure, that there's points on your scalp, just like reflexology with feet, what's that word? That reflect a different part of your body or your existence. And the word here is certainty. This is exactly what I was talking about with getting curious instead of, because there's only so certain you can be about things. Like, not everything in life is certain. You can make a plan And that's the thing. It's like you don't want to plan too granularly. I don't know if that's a word, because if you do that and something goes off plan, it could derail you from your passion and your spark. And your passion and your spark is what's keeping you going. And it's what's so important to keep you in a space of curiosity and not certainty. Certainty, I know certainty is what people really want. Like they really want to feel like everything, ducks in a row, everything's great, but that's boring as hell, you guys. Like if everything was perfectly content at all times, you would be bored as hell. There would be nothing to challenge you, nothing to open you up, nothing to dig down deep inside and connect you to your most divine, highest self. That's what your human experience is about. And if there's complete certainty, what is there besides, living in complete certainty? But then it's like becomes the same cycle over and over. It's like, okay, what's new? What's different? What's exciting? So this is about really I'm kind of feeling like this whole neural pathways, how if we get into a certainty thing, it's like all certainty is comfort. We're staying in the same rut really of certainty, comfort. But why? What do we get out of that? We don't get to ascend and open and experience and elevate. That's the word I'm really thinking about, is elevate. Let's see what the book says, because phrenology. All I know about phrenology is that it's the name of a Roots album, which is funny because the next card I got is about Roots. This says, if your days are filled with aimless activity and your head is filled with pointless internal chatter and inconsistent plans, remember I was talking about inconsistent plans, stop a while and turn down the volume. When you give into rest and silence, you are more likely to hear the information your guides are trying to give you. Yes. As you try to ascertain what you should or should not do, use your own head rather than accepting the first piece of advice you're given. Oh, Lord, I am so guilty of this. Whenever I have a transition or something happening in my life where I go to someone for help and assistance and advice, I hear it and I'm like, yeah, oh my gosh, that's what I should do. And it's not that what they told me is the right thing for me. It's just that if they're saying I experienced what you're experiencing and this happened to me, I'll be like, oh my God, that could happen to me. And then later someone else will be like, oh no, that didn't happen to me. The opposite did. I was able to do this. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe I should do that. And it's every single person, whatever you choose and whatever happens is perfect for you. Nothing can go wrong. Now, I know this sounds weird, but even if something goes to you in your perception as wrong or bad, it will always down the line teach you something that you, of course, don't realize till later. And then you'll be like, that's why that happened. So what I want us to focus on is having the aha moment of that's why that happened as early as possible, so that we're not having that long period of learning that can sometimes be excruciating before we have the aha moment. So let's shorten that space of time between the this thing happened and the aha moment of, oh, that's why that happened. Okay. Think logically, as it's time to rely on good old-fashioned common sense. So listen to yourself, listen to your guides, listen to your true guidance, which is inside of you. So meditation, a stillness practice, being still, and I'll talk more about that in a second. Stability in your life is required, so make concrete plans. Seek expert advice. So if you're seeking advice of a transition you want to make where somebody has already made that transition or is at the place you want to be, talk to them. Don't take what they say as that's what's going to happen to me. Take what they say as they know and they're at that elevated space that I want to be. So they're giving me information from that space and not what would be best for you. Because a lot of people that are at the same place that we are in our lives, or family members or people that think they know you really well, are going to give you advice based on what they think you should do, which is judgment. It comes from a space of judgment. They're not doing it on purpose. It's just that's what they know. They're like, I know you as this person. So they let that color their answer. They're like, oh, this is what you're going to do. So you know what I mean? They know you. So they're going to give you advice based on that. So seek expert advice and research carefully what you need to know to be certain about your next move. If you do so, the outcome will be successful without a doubt. The incantation of this, if you are a type of person that likes mottos, incantations, poems, or likes to wake up and read little snippets to yourself to get your day going and to get you inspired, this is the incantation for this card. The chatter in my mind is a din, so I'll meditate, journey in. Surrender to silence and listen well to guides who wait with truth to tell. So what that tells you is that your guides are sitting there waiting for you. And if you're chatter, doing, thinking, they're sitting there. They'll still sit there because they're your guides and they'll love you through it. But you're not fully utilizing them for what they could be giving you. Your guides are basically just you, but different parts of yourself that could give you information if you just listened, okay? Other divinatory meanings. Practice meditation to quiet your inner mind. Prayer will help too. Retreat. Monitor your thoughts carefully. Listen to your guides. Don't dive straight into a situation. Make sure you are certain of all the facts. Certainty will prevail. So this is the productive kind of certainty they're talking about, right? And what's funny is that we're talking about I said Phrenology is the name of a Roots album, the band The Roots. And when I was talking about healing, the base chakra card came up, which is the root chakra. This is all about feeling safe, feeling certain, feeling loved in your own body. So it's very important that you ground into your own body and your own experience and listen to yourself. I mean, these cards go perfectly together. They're really about listening to yourself, trusting yourself, grounding yourself, prayer, meditation, grounding within, listening, okay? Base chakra says, choose only positive thoughts to describe your home, career, and finances as your words determine your outcome. So it's very important that the words you use, you don't have to edit everything you're saying, but at the same time, you want to make sure if you're constantly saying, if you're talking to someone and they're like, why don't you try this? And you're like, nope, every time I try that, it doesn't matter what I do. I've always tried doing that and it just doesn't work. Don't tell me to do that because it won't. When you say that over and over, that's why it's not working. Do you know what I mean? Yes, there are things that are not going to resonate with you, and there are things that are going to resonate with you. So take what resonates and leave the rest. But that being said, make sure that you're listening without judgment. Again, without judgment. So this card indicates that you're focused on your material needs, such as desiring more money. So this is especially important during the holiday season, where it's all about money and finances, which is what Christmas is not supposed to be about. For instance, I am getting a tree, which will be right there. I moved my the thing that I usually have there, and the next video you see is going to have a big, beautiful lit up tree right there, and I'm going to decorate, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a little shindig at my house it's going to be a sober meetup party. So that's another thing I'm going to talk about soon. So it's really like Christmas and these holidays are really about love, giving, service, and what's inside of us that we want to express. We get to choose it and we get to define it. So that's what this card is talking about too, is that the material needs. It's imperative that you use only positive words and phrases to describe your current situation. Affirm your desires as already being a reality and avoid worry or any discussion that casts you in the victim role, like I was talking about earlier with the victim role. The base chakra, sometimes called the root chakra, located at the bottom of your spinal column, is the energy center that governs your feelings about your material needs. To open your flow of divine manifestations, imagine yourself inhaling and sending healing light to the base of your spine. See and feel a huge ball of ruby red light glowing within you. Since every worry is a prayer, ooh, that's juicy. Every worry is a prayer. So the more you worry about someone else or yourself, that's a prayer you're making. So when you set a prayer into motion with the worry in your voice and with worrying about someone, that can only be toxic energy and not toxic energy, but unproductive energy. Since every worry is a prayer, drawing to you that which you're worried about, notice and replace worries with prayers and affirmations. That reminds me of worry dolls. Do you guys remember worry dolls? Where it was like a little tiny like basket that you would open and there was the little tiny dolls that were made that you would like take out each or I don't know if you would take them out and lay them outside of the basket, or I think you'd open the basket, take out each doll, and then apply it with a worry you were having, and then like put it under your pillow or something, and then you'd sleep on it and like erase the worries, and then put the worry dolls back in the basket. So this is about replacing those worries with prayers and affirmations. Call upon the angels to boost your faith and confidence, which are 2 magical ingredients in conscious manifestation. Beautiful reading. Okay, so I have 2 announcements, and the first one is about a meetup group and a Facebook group that I have created. They are both called Beyond the Steps, and it's a sober social community. So this is for people who have become sober and are getting out of this cycle of addiction and are ready to take the next step in their lives, and really are feeling a little lost, powerless, and out of control in their lives, and how to rebuild that, right? And how to rebuild it in a way that is beyond what they've been doing prior, okay? So tapping into the spiritual nature of who they are, to tap into whatever their higher power is, to tap into their highest potential and their highest purpose, okay? So if you know anyone that would benefit from this group, please, I actually have posted below in the YouTube description section the links, and also in the email that I'm going to send this video embedded into. And the Facebook one is more of a place where you can go and kind of like, or wherever the person can go and just like say what they're dealing with, and any stuff that they're trying to break through emotionally, any kind of trauma or just emotional cycles that they're in, that are heavy and kind of where they're feeling toxic, or that it's not, that they're not feeling healed, places where they need healing. And then the meetup group is more for people that are in Los Angeles that are ready to like get out, meet up with people that understand, have some fellowship, have some coffee, chat. You know, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna be doing like roller skating, horseback riding, all sorts of stuff like that. So it's based in the Valley in Los Angeles, but also I will be doing meetups in other places like the West Side and stuff. So we're gonna be branching out soon. I'm also having a holiday party at my house through the meetup group. So those links are below. Check that out, or pass it on to a friend if you know anyone that has just become newly sober and is trying to deal with what the hell is going on, because it's very confusing at first. And I want to be there to really support people as they go through that. Okay, my second announcement is about some programs I've been working on. So I'm going to roll out a program, and it's going to be a live video that I'm doing soon. And it's going to be a 3-month program, and it's basically going to be how to tap into your life purpose using spiritual methods. So this will be really tapping into what has you feeling lost, what has you feeling stuck. And especially for the new year, this is going to be the perfect new year way to tap into your potential and to tap into your higher power, your higher spirit, your higher self. And this isn't just about me coaching you. That's what makes this program that I'm gonna create different. It's about me. It'll be first coaching, but then it'll be me helping you use modalities that work for you in your day-to-day life in order for you to put these things into practice on your own. So it's very exciting, and I'm really like getting geared up to release it. And I'm thinking the program's probably going to be 8 people, and then 3 more people for private coaching. So the people that do private coaching with me will get this program for free. So there's going to be tons more details about this. And there's only 3 spots open for the private coaching. So you'll have me, not only will you have the class where we're all going to sit like in a Zoom chat and learn spiritual methods, most likely it will be tarot and Akashic Records reading. And we'll learn how to read ourselves, read other people, open up our emotional, the things that we're dealing with, the cycles, and heal them. And then we'll be able to do that with ourselves after the program. And like I said, one-on-one coaching is a separate thing that if you go that route, then you'll get the program for free. So you'll have the program with everyone else, and then you'll be able to work through the stuff that came up during those sessions with me one-on-one. So those things are coming down the pipeline. I'm going to be telling you about a live video that I'm going to be doing probably in the next month or so maybe 3 weeks, something like that. So keep an ear out, an eye out for that. I love you all so dearly. Have the best week ever. And December's coming up. Happy December. Love you guys. And I will talk to you soon, okay?